6, Tina Horn has worked in the Bay Area as a professional BDSM switch and porn performer. She is the co-creator of Queer Porn TV, a sex-positive documentary masquerading as a hardcore porn site. Within a year of its launch, it's already a Feminist Porn Award winner and ABN nominee. Tina has led kink workshops in settings as varied as Good Vibrations, Evergreen University, Femina Potens, and the SF Citadel. Her writing has been published in AORTA, Whore, and several Cleis Press anthologies. She is currently working on a writing master's in New York, and thus cannot even begin to tell you how badly she could use a spanking right now. Tina Horn.
You know how you're supposed to masturbate before a date, you know, to like clean out the pipes? I keep feeling like I should have done that before I came here. Getting really distracted. That last reading by Indigo was a really good segue to my piece, because my piece is in this new book that just came out from Cleis Press. It's called Say Please, and it's lesbian BDSM erotica.
Woo! Yeah!
And you can tell this lady is kinky. She's wearing sort of gloves, and she's a lesbian apparently. But anyway, so this is my piece from this book. It's exciting to be in a book because they're like my favorite things. It's nice to be inside your favorite things. Anyway. This piece is called Spanking Booth. If you think that all it takes to run a successful, sexy fundraiser is a good-looking person under a sign that says Kinky Kissing Booth, you are sorely mistaken. My colleague Lisa grins, gently gliding a little blonde thing off my lap and handing him a glass of water. Lisa is a bombshell, high-femme transsexual, 6'2" in stilettos, and thus the perfect maternal figure for endorphin-befuddled spankies. How do you pull it off so well? This satisfied customer asks dreamily, pulling his rubber skirt down with some effort and rubbing the smarting bottom beneath. I feel this one. I'm feeling quite pleased with myself and perhaps a little top drunk at all the fresh no strings attached meat this gig gets me. A spanking booth requires a hustler of the highest order, preferably a team of slick hustlers with a relaxed but firm hierarchy of command. It's 11:15 a.m. on a Saturday night, and I am running one such well-oiled machine at a leather destination in the Soma district of San Francisco. 1:15 a.m. in San Francisco, by the way, is like really late. Like everything's about to close down. It's not like that here. I've assembled a half-dozen boxy tops plus a few delectable switches and bottoms of varying genders to appeal to every conceivable unassuming queer to darken the doors of the bar tonight. It's just like flirting, I continue pontificating to nobody in particular. You have to be available without coming on too strong. You have to make the bottom think it was their idea all along. We're raising money for some sex-positive organization. I can't remember if they told me which one it is. Regardless, there are two skills. If there are two skills, I'm happy to volunteer for the cause of my community. It's my superb kinky talents and my capacity to work a crowded room. My cohorts and I have had a wildly successful night, of course. We offer penetrating kisses, ruthless tit torture, face slapping, verbal humiliation, and for the more adventurous, flogging, caning, and strap-on sucking. Although I delight in dishing out all of these activities, my personal specialty is spanking. I'm sitting in the room's place of power, the James Bond seat, as I like to call it. From this chair, I can clock the movements and motivations of everybody in the room while keeping my back up against the wall. No one surprises me, and I keep an eye on everyone who's even considering working up the courage to approach me and ask for what they need. My leather pants are skin-tight but comfortable, and my white tank top clings to my torso with just the right amount of sweaty exertion. Many people think of soiled boots as sacrilege, but mine stomp too much dirt and kick too much shit to stay clean for too long. When you see me filthy, you know that I mean it. While others devote time to moisturizing their leather, I have my hands full beating twice as much ass. But hey, there's no accounting for taste. Speaking of taste, from my vantage point, I can see a clutch of tacky little twinks causing a commotion. What do you think that ruckus is about? My colleague Jeremy asks. He's a barrel-chested bear who will tweak your nipples like it's going out of style. Well, based on the time of night, Morning, he corrects me with a grin and a wet-lipped swing of foamy beer. Duly noted. The time of morning and the pitch of their squawks makes me think peer pressure. No doubt, we laugh together. Our laughter turns to wry amusement when the boys drag over the object of their pressure, and it turns out to be a very sexy, very ambivalent-looking tough girl. Years of experience have given me a good sense of whether butch or femme presentation indicates a cisgender, transgendered, or genderqueer person. Not that it makes any particular difference to me. We all have asses, after all. From this femme's lack of Adam's apple and her apparent fag-haggery, I would peg her for the pussy-having variety, but I'm never unhappy to be proven wrong. Her faggot friends have all the attractive attributes of well-trained dolphins. They are sharp and sleek, but also eager to please and susceptible to suggestion. We have a client for you, the queeniest of them sings. Tough girl and I size each other up. She's wearing jeans so skinny they are practically tights, a black bustier, and an oversized leather jacket. It's the perfect combination of look at me and fuck you for looking at me. Her eyeliner and hair have seen the effects of the evening. Don't you feel bad about taking the hard-earned money of drunken queers? She sneers at me. No, I answer levelly. I have been asked this question before. If I wasn't the recipient, then the bar, or the corner store, or the man selling onion-stuffed bacon-wrapped sausages on the street would be. She stands slack-jawed. Perhaps she's used to being the intimidator with little resistance. Perhaps it has made her soft. I actually offer her quite a chance to think of a clever reply before sipping my scotch and continuing. And if there's one thing I've learned from years of hustling, it's that people enjoy parting with their money even more than they enjoy earning it. They don't care where it's going, as long as they feel satisfied in the moment that there is an equal exchange of quality and quantity. It gives them a perverse sense of losing control. What this bitch needs is a good spanking, Queenie mercifully interrupts me, shutting my mouth by producing a bill. Well, giving people a perverse sense of losing control is my trade, actually. And if people are going to throw money in a vacuum, I might as well be there with a trash bag to collect the discarded pieces of paper. I nod at Jeremy, who relieves the boy of his cash in a way that already makes him feel like it was well spent. What is your name? I ask the tough girl. The boys try to be helpful. Beth, they sing. I'm gonna murder all of you, she sneers with clenched fists. Yet no one is holding her there. She doesn't stop for the door. Beth, I ask, would you like to be spanked? She rolls back to face me, crossing her arms over her ample chest. Yeah, I guess so, why not? Good. Consent is very sexy. Now, you think that because this is your friend's idea, you are absolved of the stigma of your desire? Our eyes are locked now. You're not fooling me, I know. Oh, no. I know desire when I seize it. We have a bench arranged for the dabblers, the people who want the sensation of being spanked but are neither prepared nor inclined towards the deep humiliation or fantasy subsumation of a true over-the-knee. For that latter purpose, however, I have appropriated one of the bar's armless chairs. Honestly, why chairs ever have arms on them is beyond me. I take Beth's left hand and stare up at her. My knees are crossed, and I'm turned ever so slightly to my right to face her. Ordinarily, the power dynamics are best realized when the sadist places herself above the masochist. However, when you have cultivated palpable dominance, it is preferable to be in an unexpected position. It throws them off. It says all bets are off. Have you ever been spanked before? I ask, with the dispassionate curiosity of a tattoo artist about to give an 18-year-old her first tramp stamp. No, she snorts, breaking eye contact. See what I mean? She could be twice my size and I would still tower over her. Liar, slut, harlot, comes the protestation of her entourage. Is this true? I uncross my legs coolly. I guide her body slowly down to my level, holding her fast with my eyes and my firm grasp until she is squatting. Are you lying to me? Beth squirms. I mean, I've been spanked before, like, during, sex. The boys shriek, fluttering their black and neon fingernails. Doggy style, they offer. No, she's talking about when she takes it in the butt. I do not take it, Beth begins to stand to turn her head to protest. Beth, I coo, pay them no mind. She turns her eyes slowly back to mine. Do you get off on pain? Yes, she answers without hesitation. Then after a pause, why didn't I just tell you that? I have a good ability to get the truth out of people, I reply. We stare at each other. I've got a live one, I think. The room is thinking the same thing, no doubt. You will stop being defiant now. You will address me as ma'am. You will only speak when spoken to, unless it is to use your safe word. Your safe words are yellow and red. Are you familiar with the meaning of those colors? Yeah, like a traffic light, right? I get it. Before she can blink, I have her by the hair at the nape of the neck with my left hand. I pull her across me, expertly guiding the seat of her pants over my lap. She makes a delightful noise of abandon, something like whomp. I apply a dozen healthy, hard spanks to the outside of her jeans as her black and white sneakers kick indignantly in the air. I get it. What? I inquire firmly. Ooh, what? Firing off another dozen punitive smacks, knowing they aren't doing much damage besides getting my point across. I consider what an excellent method of hands-on spanking is for forming denim to a body. She wants you to call her ma'am, a helpful friend chimes in. Disoriented and flustered, Beth acquiesces. Jesus Christ, yes ma'am. Good girl, now we're getting somewhere. I massage my damage. This admission of authority always puts me in a cheery mood. Let's get a look at how you've colored from those initial spanks. I begin to pull down her jeans, and she throws her hands back to hold them in place. It's not okay that I take your pants down? I ask with genuine respect. No, I want you to. It's just that... What is it, girl? I didn't know anybody would be seeing my panties tonight. Tomorrow's laundry day, and these are my boring panties. I throw my head up and laugh uproariously. Don't you know it's not your panties I want, it's what's inside them, I declare as I unbutton her brown leather belt and start to work the jeans over her hips. This is easier said than done. Honestly, I think this trend of skin-tight jeans was just invented to infuriate tops, Lisa cracks, for the benefit of the rowdy room. The denizens of the bar are watching with increased interest. Beth assists me on more than one level by wriggling out of her pants. It is a truly delicious ass that pops, liberated to attention. She wasn't kidding. Her underwear is cotton, formally white, and washer-worn. But it just makes me feel more like I'm imposing my will on someone who wasn't expecting me. I like this feeling. I will spank anyone who wants a spanking from me, but it takes the right kind of ass for me to enjoy myself, to awaken the sadist in me. Tonight is my lucky night. I bend over slightly and hiss in her ear, I haven't had an ass this fine across my lap in a while, girl. She murmurs gleefully, I haven't met a bottom yet who doesn't love to be praised, even the ones who crave humiliation. The warm-up for a spanking sounds like an orchestra tuning up in an empty, cavernous concert hall. It smells like a teenage football team stretching in the locker room before the big homecoming game. Soon there will be a harmonic cacophony, expertly executed strategic force. For those of us who are in it for the long haul, we must prepare ourselves. Without her denim to pad the blows, every touch of my hand speaks to Beth more clearly. Still, her panties soak up the sting. She feels much more exposed than when her pants protected her, but she still has a fortress of cotton between her precious skin and my advancing forces. Balanced tenuously between mortification at her present exposure and relief at this last vestige of dignity that is her panties, Beth is slowly becoming mine. I start to lure her into more complacency with a steady rhythm and intensity. First one cheek, then the other gets two loose flicks of my wrist. The first is a momentary massage, followed closely by a solid thwack. She has just enough time to experience pain in one cheek before her attention is redirected to the soothing touch on the other. She's getting about 30 smacks and 30 rubs per minute, a nice droning pace designed to isolate both of us from the bar's stimulation. Are you ready for your panties to come down? Our cunts are very close together, if a bit askew, and our evident mutual enjoyment is generating quite a lot of heat. We both feel it, and our sympathy for one another grows. Through the sleek leather of my pants, I sense her relaxing, allowing herself to be held and used and guided. She senses my control and trusts me. Yes, ma'am. I make a big show for my growing audience of peeling the panties down, leaving them just below the cheeks to frame her luscious pinkness. And they're off, Lisa narrates, producing a cheer from the crowd. I take great mounds of her ass in both hands and squeeze the flesh like I'm prepping some precious material for some obscure art project. Released, these handfuls bounce back into place, vibrating ever so slightly as they settle. I am meticulous about covering all of my territory. I set about creating a symmetrical coloration for my visual pleasure and even sensation for hers. There is a target on every ass I narrate for my captivated voyeurs, right here. I trace 3 concentric circles in the middle of each cheek, punctuating them with a bullseye smack that makes my victims howl and the audience cheer. But the ass has so much more to offer. You have to spread the blood around. I demonstrate rapid tapping around the side of each cheek and play the cleavage of her heart shape like perfect bongo drums. Of course, there's the tender insides. You have to be prudent here. It's much more sensitive, especially when they're aroused. I'm not turned on by this, Beth protests, arching her back. My hands react instinctively to bratty behavior such as this. It snakes between her legs and pries them open, landing 5 perfectly placed windmill blows at a difficult angle, the sideways curve of the lady's ass into her cunt. She squeals, but before she knows what's happening, the pain and vulnerability of this recourse has subdued her further. Then she merely melts and whimpers. This inner spot is for punishing insolent behavior and reinforcing roles. The crowd laps it up. Queers do so love a good drama. I stroke the pinkening skin and raise goosebumps down her back with the fingernails of my non-opposable hand. Jeremy, will you oblige me? Without taking my eyes off my prize, I indicate the crumpled pants on the ground. Knowing exactly what I have in mind, Jeremy whistles through his teeth and stoops to extract Beth's belt from its loops. He does it quickly, demonstrating the belt's whip-like potential. Always a showman, he folds it in half and produces a satisfying crack that strikes fear and lust into the heart of every bottom in the room. I find it extra humiliating to be beaten with one's own belt, I say, as Jeremy hands me Beth's. This little distraction snaps her out of complacency somewhat, and she begins to squirm. Now, when I send you home, you will wear the weapon I used against you. Every time you wrap it around your waist, you will think of its potential, and you will think of me. I hold the buckle in my palm and wrap the leather slowly around my hand, familiarizing myself with its weight and texture. When only about a foot's length is left, I hold out my other hand and test its strength on my forearm. It bites like a bitch, leaving a red tab on my skin. Are you ready to taste your own belt, little girl? I ask, teasing her with a soft flap, the result of the leather molding to the appropriate loop of her sexy waist. Yes, please, ma'am, she squeals. As the blood rushes to Beth's cheeks, so the blood rushes more palpably through my heart as I bring the belt down hard on her ass. My head rushes and my cunt throbs. The darkening of the soft pink to a dark red is visible even in the low bar light. I paint her entire ass this color, covering as much ground as possible before doubling back. When the belt retreads over already visited territory, it leaves a ghostly white mark before the red fills in. Beth does not struggle anymore. After the slow, seductive warm-up, the belt controls her utterly. I unleash myself on the bottom that now yearns for more. Soon my blows are both hard and quick. The belt grows from my hand, from my desire, and from hers. Soon the shrill queens, the hard rock music, the reek of stale booze fades away, and so does every part of her body that isn't over my lap. There's only my belt and her ass. It has only ever been this way, like waves crashing on the beach. Our play is a force of nature. I'm sure she could have taken it forever, but the bartender hollers that fatal cry, last call for alcohol. The room comes rushing back, noises and smells first. I uncoil the belt and rapidly rub her ass with it like I'm shining a bowling ball. Tossing my instrument on the ground next to the crumpled pants, I proceed to softly stroke her sore bottom. To my delight, my aftercare elicits sweet murmurs and undulations. We breathe and contract together, grinding and grounding one another. My hands snake up through the hair of the nape of her neck again. You are going to stand up, slowly, and you're going to keep your head down so the blood doesn't rush to your head. Yes, ma'am. Good girl. If you're going to faint on me, it'll be from pain, not sloppiness. She gulps visibly. Yes, ma'am. Soon, Beth is standing, a happy, pulverized mess. I stand too and put my arm around her quivering body. May I buy you a drink, my good little girl? She nods slowly, gazing at me like she's seeing me for the first time. And later this week, with some of the money we earned at the spanking booth, I'll buy you dinner. Thank you.